All right, we're going to start this Informatica Cloud OData Lightning Connect demonstration from inside of Salesforce. As part of the Informatica Cloud real-time package, there is a managed package that is installed into Salesforce that provides a couple functions. First of all, it gives access to all of your Salesforce metadata at design time, so you're able to see fields, objects, pick lists values, and record type dependencies. And secondly, it also gives you this Guide Designer tab, which will open the Informatica Cloud real-time interface inside of an iframe, inside of Salesforce, so your Salesforce users don't have to log into Informatica Cloud necessarily to work with this. And for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to take an Azure database that we have, but this will work for any JDBC-capable database such as Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server. We've got our database here. If we look at it, we got a number of tables you can see that are available. The tables will have various bits of data. For example, this demo parts, if we were to look at it, number of fields, this is the kind of information that's in it. The goal here is to expose this table as an external object within Salesforce using OData and Salesforce Lightning Connect. Now where that starts is with creating a connection inside of Salesforce. We just go new connection, or rather Informatica Cloud, but within our Salesforce interface, we create a new connection, and this connection, all it takes is a username, password, and connection string to be able to have a real-time connection into the database. So you can see here we've got the connection string that you would get from any database, and then you also just give it the username and the password you use to log in, and then you can save and publish it, and once it's published, you'll see in its metadata that it becomes aware of all the different tables that are in that database. Now let's say this isn't sufficient to be able to use this database in processes guides and other real-time transactions using our system, but if we want to use this in Lightning Connect, then we just turn on the OData enabled option. It's as simple as hitting a radio button to make this database OData capable. So you'll set OData enabled to yes, and then we do require that you provide a username of a user that you've created within the Informatica Cloud service in order to authenticate this particular OData endpoint. So we're just going to use iCloud at demo.informatica.com. This is a user that we have set up for this sort of purpose. We know the password, so there's our iCloud user. We've told it OData yes. We're going to save and publish. And publishing will go and get all the latest table data just in case anything's changed since last time we've done this. So it may take sometimes 30 seconds or a minute to gather all of that. And then what it'll do is it will provide us with an OData service URL, it's called, or basically an endpoint that we're going to copy, and we're going to take it over to Salesforce, and we're going to paste it in at that point. So our connection's been published. We'll come back to the Design Home tab, and we'll look at our Azure database. We've highlighted it here, and now you can see that we have this OData service URL. So we're going to go ahead and grab this OData service URL, and then since we're already in Salesforce, we'll just go ahead and go over to Setup. I'll just open this in a new tab, and then from Setup, you'll come in here to the quick find, and you'll just type external, and there are external data sources. This is where you configure these Lightning Connect style options. So from external data sources, you see I don't have any set up here in this system. This is where the licensing comes in. For each external data source that you want to have, you would need a Lightning Connect license. We're going to go ahead and hit New External Data Source, and we'll call this one My Azure DB. And the type that we're going to use in this particular circumstance is just going to be the Lightning Connect OData 2.0. Our endpoints are actually 2.0 and 4.0 compliant, but 4.0 just became available within the last week inside of Salesforce, generally available, so we'll stick with the OData 2 for now. Now this URL is where we're going to paste the URL that we copied from Informatica Cloud. We just drop that in there. And then for our authentication, the only thing that we'll have to change, we're going to use, instead of identity type anonymous, we're going to use a named principal, and we're going to use password-based authentication, and this is where we'll enter in iCloud at demo.informatica.com, and then our password here. This is the same password that iCloud would use to access Informatica. And then we'll go ahead and hit save. So that's all there is to the basic setup of this external object on the Salesforce side. You see that was created, and so now we can start creating external objects. The method you use for doing that is you click on Validate and Sync. This will reach out to that OData endpoint that we provided to it and show a list of all the tables that are currently available in that database. So see, we got a few different tables here. Let's say that we want to make demo parts, for example, and then this, we can also include this vehicle data. VIN data has VIN numbers and the like. So we're going to bring in two tables into Salesforce, create two external objects that you'll be able to view and work with. So selecting the two I want, I just hit the sync button. Now Salesforce is going to actually generate the external objects associated to each of those tables, and now I can show you how we can render that data. If I go down here, there's my two external objects. You can see if I were to go into, say, VIN data, for example, here's all the fields that we've come across. Here's some fields that are generated by Salesforce. This is where you would actually have the ability to, say, create a new relationship type field if you wanted to tie this into accounts, for example. So I'd say new lookup relationship. Next, we'll relate it to the account object, and we'll call this, we'll just call it account. Actually, setting up that relationship takes a little bit more to it. Your database table actually needs to have the account ID on there. So what we'll just do quickly is we'll just finish our work here, and then we'll show you how to expose it as a tab. Generally, when I've shown this, I haven't gone through building that additional piece. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go over to tabs. We're going to create a new tab, and then in this custom objects tabs, we're just going to hit new, and we say we want to select an object, and then just like magic, there's our demo parts, and there's our VIN data. So if I select VIN data, Salesforce requires us to give it a little picture. So we'll just see what we got here. We got car, perfect. And now this is just tab visibility, standard stuff, what profiles you want to be able to see the tabs. I'm just going to leave it so that all profiles can see it, and then we'll just include it in all of our apps. And now, bam, I've got this VIN data appearing up here. So let's go into VIN data. Now let's first set up our list view to make sure that it has some fields in it, right? So we'll just drag over everything that we want to see. We're going to leave this as all, so we don't want to put any criteria. Now this is pure Salesforce list view stuff. This just filters what you want to see here. We'll make this visible to all users, and we'll save. There's our external object. And that's how you expose database data inside of Salesforce as an external object.